Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Job, and today I'm here with Victoria and Leo from Metro West Southwest Youth Connections. Nice to meet with you.
Nice to meet with you.
Nice to meet you.
How's everything going today?
It's going well.
How you like the weather so far today?
It's hot outside today.
Because it's been hot the past
little
couple
too
of days
hot.
so far. It's been scorching hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you guys feel okay?
Yeah, prefer this than snow.
100%.
So first I like to do with all my interviews, like talk about kind of like background for both of you guys. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, so obviously my name is Leo. I'm actually born and raised from Framingham.
Okay.
I went to high school here, university here, Framingham State, majored in business management, and now I work for Metro Southwest Youth Connections as a business services representative.
Okay. And Victoria?
Yeah, I'm Victoria. So I was born in Brazil, and I moved here when I was about 6 years old. I grew up and lived in Marlboro for majority of my time, and kind of in this area, in the Framingham area as well. After high school, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, and ended up kind of stumbling on a career path of, social services and workforce development with youth as well. So,
College. What college did you go to?
I went to Framingham State University.
Okay. Did you also as well go to college?
no, I went directly into the workforce, which is
Okay.
kind of how I found myself in this job. Yeah.
Okay, so since you said you went directly, how did you start getting connected with the program?
Yeah, I went through a program similar to this when I was a little bit younger as well, but directly after high school, I decided, I'm not really sure what I want to do, so let me get work experience. And it ended up, I started working directly with a nonprofit here in Framingham for a little bit, and
What is the nonprofit
then
called? Nonprofit?
it was the Key program at the time.
Okay.
And got some office experience and, kind of went through a couple jobs figuring out what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and eventually found myself doing this kind of work, which is youth development. And I found a place for myself in this because I saw the opportunities that they were giving to other people was
Yeah.
what I wish I had in high school. I feel like it would have helped me out kind of figuring out my trajectory. So I really knew right away. I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. 'Cause this is what I wish I had at that age. So.
And like you said too, you were also in at a young age too.
Yes.
So it kind of made it easier to make that transition to now get to work there.
100%.
Okay. And Leo, how did you kind of get connected with Metro Southwest?
So, like I said, I was studying at Framingham State University, and it was my senior year there, and I was doing my internship for a company called Score Boston, which is also a nonprofit, and they actually provide mentorship for people trying to start up businesses. So I was helping out companies and people in the Brazilian community here in Framingham to either start up or just giving them some sort of advice on how to be an entrepreneur and kind of where they can do better in certain parts that they were looking to do better in for their company.
Okay.
At the same time, I was actually also coaching high school soccer at Framingham High.
Oh wow. For how long?
Just a year. So I
Okay.
I played soccer at Framingham State. I had an injury and I couldn't play my last year, so I went back to the high school, coached for a year. And one of my math teachers actually drove by, who is now a vice principal, and she asked me if I wanted to be a mentor for a program that she was running within the high school, and I said, yeah, of course. I love working with youth. I love giving youth an opportunity that I wish I had growing up, and I want to make sure that it's accessible to students. So that's kind of how I got into that role. And then she heard of a position opening up at Metro Southwest Youth Connections, and then I ended up here, and now I'm here.
And I like the connection that you guys both had because you said you guys both were involved with a nonprofit like at a young age. How important did you guys feel like that was, especially at your time?
I think working for a nonprofit is super essential. I think there's kind of a stigma, especially when I was in college. I remember in school, everybody used to say, oh, I'm not working for a nonprofit, you don't make money. That's not really the case. A job is a job. I think it's more of if you align with the mission and goals and the values of that company or that organization, and that's kind of why it's been so well for us here. I don't want to speak for you, but for me, everything that we've done, I believe in, and I believe it actually has true value for the community and the youth and organizations that reside within our service delivery area. And there's a lot of value for everybody that has a stake in it.
Yeah, I agree. I think mission and purpose for me is really important in whatever sort of work I'm doing. and being able to get paid for that is just like a bonus on top
Yep.
of it. But I really I do believe for myself, I don't think I'd be able to do something that I don't believe in, or
Exactly.
that there's not some sort of meaning behind. So I think getting to see that early on, despite the challenges that comes with nonprofit, I think that at the end of the day, at its core, like there's a mission behind what these organizations are trying to do, and that's something that I can get behind. For
And
sure.
would you both agree that like with these nonprofits, they're more mission based, especially with the nonprofit that you guys work at, compared to like other jobs that like are actual industry jobs? These one really value the people and are more mission based. Like they're trying to have a goal for the people that they bring in.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, and our director says it a lot too, it's not about, you know, the politics or the bureaucracies behind it, but it's the actual work that you're doing, the impact that you make on people's lives.
Yes.
I think that helps all of us get through the work that, you know, sometimes people don't want to do, or, you know, maybe there's a tedious task, and it makes that work or task a lot easier to do, knowing that you have a real impact and you're making a real impact on a youth's life or somebody else's life, and, you know, even improving their daily livelihood just by giving them opportunities. So for me, that's kind of where I'm standing at.
And that's good too, because just like you guys both said, like it had an impact on y'all as a young age. So now to kind of give it back is like kind of like the blessing that I would say like you see like what doing the work that you guys do. To shift a little bit, talk about like kind of like getting your feet wet. Was there any like challenges along the way when you guys started at Metro Southwest Youth Connections, or was it kind of like a smooth transition? Because obviously you mentioned you had your injury, COVID. I don't know if it was around the same time for you, Victoria, but like was there any like challenges maybe along the way as you guys start to shift into that field of work?
Yeah, I think a challenge for me was, you know, getting used to just the workforce as a whole.
Especially coming from you, because you wanted to play soccer.
Yeah.
You wanted to play sports, yeah.
So I was an athlete in high school, an athlete in college, and then the injury kind of derailed me. So, you know, getting used to just the workforce itself and what comes with it, I wasn't aware of the ins and outs of it and kind of how to deal or navigate with certain situations. So there was definitely a learning curve with me, because even though it is pretty similar to sports and the lessons sports taught you, there's ways to navigate the workforce that sports just can't teach you. But it did help me, but I did struggle a little bit when I had to come into the workforce full time.
Good.
And adapting.
Yeah, I would say similar to what Leo's talking about. He's been here a little bit longer than I have, but for me, it's really just adapting to that kind of work, and you know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a challenge, more so just the process of getting used to a job like this, and the process of
The day-to-day.
yes, meeting with these different, you know, students and youth that we work with out in the community. And on my background, I come from, you know, a community I grew up in here in Marlborough and Framingham was mainly Brazilians, right? I was very in tune with that community. And I am so grateful that this job has allowed me to like go beyond that community and also meet and learn from other communities in this area as well. And so just like going through that process of meeting new people, learning how to communicate with different kinds of people, different kinds of backgrounds, and all of those things has taught me a lot. And though challenging at times, has really been, I think, very fruitful, and I've taken a lot from that. So I think that's the biggest thing. I wouldn't call it a challenge necessarily, but just the process of the job. Yeah.
Okay. And you spoke about backgrounds, because you guys obviously are both from Brazil. You were born in Brazil.
Yeah.
How does it feel also getting to like work in a community, especially in Framingham, knowing that there's such a big Brazilian community? Like, does that kind of like give you that like sense of home feeling and being able to like connect with those young kids that like are no different from y'all being from Brazil?
Yeah, it gives me a sense of pride and joy. And I guess nationalism too. You know, I was born here, but to two Brazilian parents, and I've seen the struggles, and I've heard of the struggles of them immigrating.
Because they're no
here.
different, of course, from y'all.
Yep, immigrating here and having to adapt to life here, and I've seen that a lot in my own personal life with friends, even family, and how they had to adapt, and how, you know, they're not always aware of certain organizations that designed to help you because they just weren't born here. They
Or they
weren't
don't
aware of
know.
it. They don't know.
Yeah.
So being able to kind of put our name out there and even other organizations as well. I'm a huge advocate for other community partners.
Especially nonprofits like yourself.
Yep. I believe teamwork is always the end goal, and just being able to help young adults who were in the same position as myself at one point, my parents, my brother, my friends, and being able just to show them that there are resources out there for you to help you succeed and designed for you to succeed in our local economy, I think is amazing, and it gets me through the day. So
Exactly. Okay, so now talking about your program, what are like kind of some initiatives or like goals that you guys kind of strive for at your Youth Connections program?
You wanna start that, or you want me to give a breakdown?
can you repeat the question?
Like kind of like some goals for like students that want to get involved. Like what do you guys like push for your students? Is it whether like to get jobs or like to connect with businesses, to start their own business? Like what is kind of like the mindset for, or what do you guys instill in students that are getting connected with you guys?
Yeah, so I guess the goal in our eyes when we run programming is the end goal is always going to be employment.
Okay.
What we try to do is we try to offer meaningful experiences to get to that end goal of employment, whether that's full-time or part-time. That depends on the young adult or the individual. And we do that in a variety of different ways. So we work with our partner high schools, and when I say partner high schools, we work with high schools throughout the Metro Southwest region. That includes 43 cities and towns. It's a huge area. It goes all the way out to Brookline. As far west as Marlboro, far south is Bellingham, far north is Acton, and everything in between. And we work with a lot of schools to educate high school students on the careers and industries that are out there for them, and not only what they see on social media. I think we live in a digital age, and a lot of times people see what they see online or on their phone, which is great, and I think it's a great resource, but I think that also tends to have them bat a blind eye to other really cool careers and industries that they could explore that they're just not aware of, because it's not the most appealing job or industry in their eyes. So that's kind of one way that we do it. We also help high schools with resume building for their students.
Headshots, I know you guys do.
Headshots, mock interviews, even career fairs and job fairs that are put on through the Mass Hire Career Centers. So they're kind of another branch of us. So we're connected to them. A common misconception is we're also called Mass Hire. We're not actually Mass Hire, but we work very closely with them, and we're technically under the same umbrella.
And kind of like you said, that team, like, you know, like everyone work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Exactly, and they run job fairs for the area as a whole, mainly for our adult population, but the job fairs are also open to high school students as long as they're 18 plus.
Okay.
We run 2 different expos throughout the year, and those are 2 exploratory events where we bring in industry-specific companies and organizations to really showcase what they do in their everyday lives, or talk about what they do and just the opportunities that they have within. It's not necessarily a hiring event, but it's more to educate young adults again on
And kind of get them involved.
get them involved and show them what's available in their world or in their organization. In those 2 expos, we run it's a STEM career expo, and we run a trades and construction expo.
Okay. You spoke about awareness, and I know for myself, I kind of mentioned you guys off camera that when I was in school, and because I graduated class of 2022, I didn't see like the youth connections like come into the schools as much. But I know you said like as from then you guys had grown and really now start to like get that hands on and being able to go to school. Like what are like other things you could say like how the growth has been from from just being like, you know, a small little nonprofit, like letting people know, but now being able to go to the schools and get kids involved. Because I know like especially at the time that we live in now, jobs obviously can be very difficult, especially for young adults. But now that you guys can go and like make them aware, like you said, especially with the Brazilian community, whatever community it may be, like what is like some things you guys have done to like push to really get people involved with your program?
I don't want to steal the thunder here either, but I think
Go for it. I'll answer.
I think that the answer is kind of twofold. So for me in my role, I see it from 2 different lenses. I see it from the young adult lens, which is the target population that we work with. So it's anyone aged 14 through 25. And, you know, really making sure that they're aware of the services that we offer, and we kind of meet them where they're at. So if someone's coming in and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a specific type of training, I want to go into the trades, we can help them get to where they want to be through certain initiatives. If they come to us and they're like, hey, I'm interested in an internship, I'm not necessarily looking for full-time employment, I'm a full-time student, but I'm looking for something to kind of enhance what I'm learning at school, or go alongside and get the experience of what I'm studying at school, we can help there as well. If they're coming in and they're like, hey, I just need help for looking for a job, and let's say we're at a high school and they come to us, we help them apply to jobs, we help them prepare for jobs, how to dress, how to speak, how to build your resume, how to build a cover letter, which are all super important things when looking for a job. And then on the flip side of that, I look at it on the organization side of it. So like, and how we're perceived in the community. So for me, my theory is how can we best serve our community partners or community organizations or local organizations, and kind of making them aware of what we can do for them. So what we do a lot with community partners or organizations is we're actually able to post their jobs online through the Mass Hire Career Centers, which I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
And that's free, so they're able to utilize that. There's other business services as well that I can deep dive into, but I don't want to take up way too much time. But the other thing too is that we also run an internship program, and that's kind of how we connect a lot with our companies. We make them aware that we have youth who are available, who are hungry to work, and just need the opportunity to work.
Okay.
And we really kind of are the middleman in this piece. We're making sure that this person is getting to their destination, and that the company is also getting something there. So that's what I meant, kind of like we have a twofold, or I have a two-sided lens, twofold view of it. But
Victoria?
And I'll say, like, our programs have been around for a while, right? These initiatives, a lot of these are either state or federal programming that we take on and then distribute to the community in some ways. But I think that specifically in this area, this goes like beyond just our time that we've been here. I think our director, Megan Burke, started, in her role, I think it's been over 8 years now, and I know one thing that she's instilled in us really is building bridges, right? So I think that's how we've been able to get into those schools, into those businesses, is with that mentality of, how can we go into schools? How can we make sure that the students are aware of these services?
Get the word out.
And also working with the businesses that Leo's talking about and building those bridges between those two populations. And at the end of the day, hopefully servicing both of them. The students are getting internship experiences, they're getting exploratory experiences, and the businesses are getting employees, they're getting people who are, being trained up for the workforce who will eventually end up in those job positions. So I think that it's been a lot about building bridges, and this has been happening way before we got here, but
people are more aware now.
100%. And just in the time that I've been working here, it's been, the past 3 years, the growth that we've had in schools, the partnerships that we've built within those schools, and just getting out there and just continuing like building relationships. I think a big part of all of our jobs is building relationships. And I've spoken to so many students, families, and they're like, this is like too good to be true. What do you mean you're paying kids to like work somewhere? It's not usually how that goes. Like, or businesses asking us, like, what do you mean you're gonna pay someone to work here for me? But truly, like, there is no downside to these programs. As a student who's looking to explore, I think the biggest thing is just exploration, and we've been able to take that and really grow it, and we're still continuing to do that. But 100%. I think that it's been a successful initiative so far.
And I like that because, like I said again, like when I was in high school, like obviously again, you guys, the program was there then. It just obviously wasn't aware to some of us. So I like now, like how, like I see, especially when you guys post, like you guys are really going in, not even schools, like malls, like, or even like job industries again, like really like letting people know, like, hey, like if you're a young adult, like within the age range, like you guys said, and you guys want to get involved, job, whatever it may be, like we're here in the Metro Southwest area that can help you guys out with these, with getting jobs. But you mentioned feedback, and I'm glad you talked about that. For the stuff that you do, what would you say like is some of that feedback that you guys been getting to see like the impact that it's having on these kids from families or so on, whatever it may be?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. I think for me, we don't often see like the results sometimes of the work that we're doing. You know, sometimes we're connecting a student with an internship or helping them create a resume, and you know, maybe we don't talk to that kid again, and we help them with that resume and they go off and maybe they get a job, maybe they don't. We don't always get to see that end result. And so when we do, when we get that feedback of how things are going, see like the culmination of all that work, it's really rewarding.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have gotten to see a lot of that recently, and I think that it's always like, it's always a reminder of
100%.
what we're doing and why we're doing it, and it helps just to keep things going, keep things moving.
I think for me, on my end, working with the businesses that we work with, just hearing feedback saying, hey, so-and-so is doing a great job. You know, I was able to tackle on a certain project because of the programming you're running and the young adult that you connected with us with. And just hearing that local companies are able to do more because of what we have in place, and even potentially, you know, add on to the local economy. Like it's always a plus, and it's such a good thing to hear, because we hear that our local economy is thriving from that.
Exactly. And you guys kind of like have that like that help that you guys can give to these people as well, and hear like, you know, like you're doing good. Like not just like you then leave and just go. Like it's definitely very good, and I love that. And like I said, I still love that you guys are so connected and getting to go into the schools. Like I said again, like as much as I repeat it, I'm telling you, like when I was in school, we did not have it, and it was more just like go to college, figure it out.
Yeah.
But now to see like you can help them at an early age can better off so much people, especially in the area. So before we wrap up though, I know you mentioned like there's a lot of local events that you guys run. Is there anything that's coming up recently that you want to like let people know about?
Yeah, so we are running a STEM Expo. I mentioned this briefly earlier. That's going to be on Thursday, October 22nd.
Okay.
And I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but it's designed to show young adults careers and industries within STEM. STEM is super broad, and there's a lot that falls under that huge umbrella. And so we're actually inviting a lot of community partners or community organizations, or organizations that are within our service delivery area, in the Metro West area, even outside of it, if they're in Boston, Worcester County, Norfolk County, inviting them, if they're watching this, to come out and just be a part of it, and give back to our community and to our youth, and you know, really showcase what you do and the impact that you have at your job. It'll be super valuable for these young adults to hear that.
And last but not least, just for the program itself, how can anybody reach you if they still don't know and they want to get involved with Metro Southwest Youth Connections?
Yeah, so if you're a business, organization, nonprofit, municipality, if you want to get involved, you can reach out to myself. I don't know how we're going to pass out contact information.
If you want to put your phone number, whatever it may be, business number, doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can contact me at 508-726-1713, and I'd be happy to help you. And again, meet you at where you're at. If you want to host interns, if you want to host a school for a field trip, anything really, I can kind of help you with that.
Victoria?
Yeah, I'll just briefly touch on some of the programming that we have going on throughout the school year, or throughout the year really. We have paid internships, so this is where we will connect students or youth really ages 14 to 25 with paid internship opportunities at a local business, organization, small business, whatever it may be, and hopefully that internship will align with some sort of interest that they have, so that they can explore that career path and get some job experience and potentially even get hired. We also have art programs that we do throughout the year where students are able to come in and learn professional development. They're able to get real mentorship from artists, things like that. We're running professional development cohorts for 14 and 15-year-olds. We have a whole other program that's really focused on post-secondary education for those 18 to 25 who are maybe going into trades or need some extra training and things like that. So there's so much that we do, and we do it throughout the year, and a lot of it is, you know, sort of scattered and certain people hold certain information, but at the end of the day, like, our organization really does do a lot that I think should be out there and should be utilized by the community. So for all of that, I think if anyone's interested in any sort of programming, they can reach out through we have a little form on our website, which is mswyouth.org, and there's a little contact form. If they fill that out, that goes directly to us, and it will be distributed to the right person who will reach out as well for that.
Okay, and definitely if anyone wants to get involved with them, don't forget to reach out. But Victoria,
thank you so
and
much.
Leo, I just want to thank you guys again for coming in and sharing your time at Access Framingham.